signs will be recognized as having metabolic syndrome. The first sign is increased waist and hip ratio. The second sign is higher than normal blood pressure. The third sign is high fasting blood glucose or higher than normal fasting blood glucose. Then fourth one is high triglyceride. And the last one, fifth one, is low LDL, or HDL cholesterol. Low HDL cholesterol. Some people will say HDL cholesterol is a good cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol is bad cholesterol. My friend here, Nehemiah, is a chemist. He told me one time, there's many kinds of HDL cholesterol. Some are good, some are bad. He educated me on the art and the variety of HDL cholesterol. I thank him for his chemistry lesson. But I said, for me, a simple person, I will just call it HDL is a good one, LDL is a bad one. All right? Now, the first sign is increased waist-hip ratio. For males, this ratio should be 0.9 or less. If a person has this ratio greater than 0.9, for female, if it's more than 0.85, the person has that sign. Let me demonstrate this for you. So I'm going to ask my dear wife to come up here. And in China, they call your wives island or lover. Lover. So I'll have my lover come up, and I will demonstrate how to measure. I hope I got a measuring tape somewhere. How to measure the waist and the hip ratio, all right? And let me go this way. All right, this is the waist, waist measurement. It's 25. All right, let's look at the hip.
Don't announce it.
Oh, don't announce it. Hip measurement is 35. All right, 25 is the waist, and the hip circumference is, did I say 35? I need to use calculator. As I said, I have forgotten about my mathematics already. So 25 divided by 35 equals 0.71. So indeed, it's less than 0.85. So you pass. You don't have that sign. Too bad you do not have that sign. Now, blood pressure is something you can also measure at home in your own comfort. And people in the textbook will tell you the normal blood pressure should be 120/80. I give that a little bit benefit. So I raise a little bit, 130/85. So if a person's blood pressure is 130/85 or less than that, I consider it's quite comfortable. So if it's over 130/85, and I will consider that's probably a little bit high. But in my practice, actually, I even go up a little bit higher yet, even go up to 140/89. I still consider it normal. Because when people go to a doctor's office or go to a clinic, go to a hospital, when they measure your blood pressure, it's always high. You see, you are in the office waiting for half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours. Here, a nurse come in, very grouchy, may not be grouchy, but very impatient, and measure your blood pressure, it shoot up 10 points more, at least 10 points more. So I tell people, you relax. You come to my office now. There's nothing to worry, nothing to get excited, all right? So just relax. Sometimes I allow them to listen to the music a little bit. And when I see they are indeed relaxed, I check their blood pressure. Even though people say they have high blood pressure, when I check it, somehow it's normal again, normal. So anyway, blood pressure and waist-hip ratio, you can do it at home. So most of you will be able to know that. Then the other three, fasting blood sugar, we consider 110 is normal. So if it's greater than 110 milligram per deciliter, it's high. So next time, you need to, when your doctor orders the fasting blood sugar, you need to get the report. Or you've already had a report, then you already know. Triglyceride should be 150 milligram per deciliter. If it's more than that, and you also have another sign. And HDL, the good kind of cholesterol, for male should be 40 milligram per deciliter or higher. For female, should be 50 milligram per deciliter or higher. So if you men had HDL lower than 40, if you ladies had HDL lower than 50, then you have that sign. So how many of these 5 signs a person needs in order to be recognized as having metabolic syndrome? My friend and says 3, that's right. Only 3. You don't have to have all 5, all right? As I mentioned, 2 of these you can measure it yourself, and you already probably know it yourself. If you don't know it, you can measure it right away. Then for other 3, you need to have the blood test. So I always encourage people, when they have a blood test done, they ask for the reports. In our practice, we often hear people say, my doctor tells me that my cholesterol is okay. Then Esther will ask them, what is your cholesterol? I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is just okay. So be sure when you have a blood test done, and you actually pay for the blood test. So you're entitled to get a report. Now in our practice, we automatically make several copies. One for the patient, another one for the patient's mother or father. Often that's the case. And one, of course, for us to keep in our own office. So to recognize metabolic syndrome, we need to know those 5 signs and symptoms. And if a person has 3 of these signs, he or she has the metabolic syndrome. I hope today when you get home, or next few days, if you don't have the laboratory reports, find out whether or not you have metabolic syndrome. 25% of the adults in America, that is 47 million people, already have metabolic syndrome. I would say most of them do not know it. Do not know it. Now, why I would like people to know it? Simply because if you know it, you can do something maybe to prevent the or to eliminate the risk factor. Often people will come to me will say, you know, my uncle, my so-and-so had this disease, heart attack, and this, that, stroke. There's no warning signs. And people will tell us, no warning signs. My daughter was whispered to them, there's plenty warning signs. but you just did not know it. Indeed, there's always warning signs. Now let's find out what are the causes of metabolic syndrome. The causes, all right? There are quite a number of causes, but I simplify the matter, make it into just 3 causes. Number 1 would be foods, right? Foods. What kind of foods? Foods with oils, with fat. Yesterday, night I talked about only fats, but today I also want to emphasize oils. Those of you like Chinese food, you know, when you go to Chinese restaurant, the foods will have lots of oil. That's why they taste so good. Years ago, when I went to Hong Kong or went to China, the foods did not have that much oil. But today, the restaurants in Hong Kong and in China also know one of the tricks that you want to have these customers come back again and again, you put more oil into it. And of course, you don't put so much, you drown them. But you have to have enough oil so it tastes good.